most addictive substances we know, but vaping on its own seems kind of okay. So, is it really that bad if you do it? Well, we should find out quickly. While in the West, smoking is slowly falling out of fashion, especially among teens, vaping has become a growing epidemic. In 2023 in the UK, 20% of children had tried vaping at least once. In the US, 8% of all students are currently vaping regularly. 1 in 4 of them do it daily, and almost all of them use vapes with flavors. So how does vaping work, and what does it do to your body? How does vaping work? A vape is basically a small tank of liquid heated up by a metallic coil that vaporizes it. The major ingredient in most vape juice is propylene glycol and glycerol, the main chemicals in smoke machines, which are also used in countless chemical processes. From food like candy and baking mixes to cosmetics, paints or plastics. Then there are the nicotine salts containing the magic and dozens of different flavor molecules. When you pull on a vape, the metal coil heats up and turns the liquid into the vapor you inhale. Vapor sounds kind of nice, harmless and pleasant, but vapes don't produce actual vapor, but a heated mist of aerosol, a warm, sticky substance made out of large molecules and microscopic particles mixed with air. The best thing to compare it to is inhaling warm body spray. When you take a hit, billions of aerosol particles cover your mouth and tongue, making you taste pleasant stuff and enter into your lungs. They reach your alveoli, little air sacs where the breathing happens. Here, the nicotine passes into your bloodstream and is transported into your brain to cause all the pleasant effects. And here, the complications begin. What's actually in your vape? The scary answer is that we don't really know. Studies found that vape liquids can be thousands of very different mixes of many dozens of substances. The majority were not even mentioned on the label. This seems almost unbelievable, but the vaping industry is much less regulated than you'd think. We know that many official substances in vapes are technically safe. Kinda. They're used in cosmetics, medicine or food and have been extensively tested. Most are safe to eat or put on your skin. But that's not the same as breathing them in. Cinnamaldehyde found in cinnamon oil kills cells and causes genetic damage when inhaled. Benzaldehyde found in almonds or apples has a fruity taste and is common in cherry, berry, chocolate or mint-flavored vapes. As a gas, it irritates the respiratory tract. What's worse is that we don't know what many substances in vape juice do if heated up. The longer you inhale and the hotter the coil gets, the more chemicals in the juice change. Molecules merge or break down, creating new compounds with unknown consequences. When propylene glycol and glycerol are heated too much, they decompose and turn into harmful molecules. This can happen when the liquid runs out or the coil gets too hot. You'll probably notice this because your vape will taste weird or burnt. If this happens, you should stop right away. And it gets worse. When the metal coil is heated up, it releases metal particles. Studies found aluminium, boron, calcium, iron, copper, magnesium, zinc, lead, chromium, nickel and manganese in the vapor, all of which vary from really bad news to straight up toxic and can cause lung irritation, chronic bronchitis and shortness of breath in the short term. Nickel can also cause cancer when breathed in. All of these mystery substances also interact with each other in new and exciting ways. In bad ways? We don't know yet. What do we know about the health effects of vaping? What does vaping do in your body? The elephant in the room is that we don't know exactly how bad vaping is, since it's only been around for about 10 years. Also, most studies on health effects in humans focused on smokers who switched to vapes. We do know for sure that smoking is orders of magnitude more harmful. If you smoke, switching to vaping will reduce your risk of disease massively. If you smoke, please switch to vaping. But these studies also muddy the water a bit. What if you never smoked and started to vape? In the short term, a significant portion of vapers develop poor breathing symptoms, coughing, extra mucus production, shortness of breath, wheezing, throat and chest pain. But the truth is, we simply don't know what will happen in the long term. The first larger-scale study on vaping with non-smokers only started in 2024. It'll take years before we can say anything with confidence. We can make careful assumptions, but take them with a grain of salt. Your lungs are made from very sensitive tissue and were never meant to deal with trillions of aerosols, chemicals and metals. What goes into your lungs generally stays in them forever, which is why smokers' lungs are dark and dirty. It seems that vaping activates the immune system, which tries to clean up the aerosols. This causes inflammation and fluid seeps into the lungs, while the cells guarding their entry produce extra mucus you have to cough out. Some of them may even die. Vaping also may cause stress all over your body. It may increase your heart rate and blood pressure, lower blood oxygen, or stiffen and clog up your blood vessels. It may create oxidative stress, which has all sorts of bad effects on your organs and may potentially cause many different diseases over time. Does this increase your risk of strokes, heart diseases, lung diseases, or cause cancer? Again, we don't know. Maybe it causes damage, but something else will kill you before vaping does. Maybe it will make you sick. But all we have right now is maybe. We're conducting one of the largest medical experiments in history. If you are vaping, you're a test subject. Too much of the wonder drug. What's new about vaping is the sheer amount of nicotine it delivers into your system. For most people, it's kind of hard to smoke 20+ cigarettes a day because smoking is pretty harsh. As vaping is less aggressive and doesn't smell bad, you can do it inside and constantly for hours. It's easy to go through an entire vape a day. They shower your brain in extremely high nicotine doses, which makes them extremely addictive. For teens, this may be very bad. During your teenage years, your brain is developing and your nicotine receptors are especially active. They're directly linked with your reward system and thus how you feel about yourself and your life. Nicotine may change brain development by overstimulating the nicotine receptors. Again, the science is pretty annoying here with loads